welcome to WonderWoman Wednesdays. Today we have with us Pamposh Dhar. I had the pleasure to meet Pamposh 8 years back. Actually, it was not a too wonderful time for me. It was a very fragile time, and she came in my life as a healer. So I really endorse Pamposh, who is a holistic healer and runs an outfit called the Terataii. Welcome, Pamposh.
Thank you for having me. So happy to be here. So happy to reconnect with you in happier circumstances.
Yeah, same here, Pamposh. It's been 8 years, but it's wonderful to have you as part of the WiP community. And really, I read your bio and I'm so impressed with the fact that you have lived in 10 cities across 3 continents. And the fact that you have combined your Eastern heritage with all your Western knowledge, Western education. So fantastic and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So my first question to you is, what attracted you to holistic healing? I know you were a journalist before, but holistic healing, how did the journey begin?
I think the journey began with myself. So I think the year I turned 40, I felt like I've achieved all that I want to achieve in terms of, external success, worldly success. I got a good job that year, and I felt like I've got nothing left to prove to myself on this front. And quite naturally, my attention turned inwards into myself, to my own personal growth. And I think I first started with meditation because, when you grow up in India or you grow up Indian, meditation is like the background noise. So it was easy. It was low hanging fruit, very easy to turn to that. Reiki was a different story. It sort of burst into my life in a wonderful but very intriguing way. So someone did Reiki, distance Reiki for my mother, and I saw her recover in a really miraculous way. I have no other way to put it. And so I was just intrigued. And so I learned Reiki. And then the journey started with that. And I started practicing. So I've been practicing for about 20 years. But I was still working with the Asian Development Bank. So I was just practicing for friends and so on at that stage, and friends of friends. Then, about 15 years ago, I started teaching, and eventually I resigned from the bank and decided to do this full time.
Pampash, Reiki is something that a lot of people are very curious about. So I would really like you to share with our members today that what are the benefits of Reiki and what are the basic principles of Reiki?
Okay, so I'll start with the principles first. It's just in a way, very simple idea that you channel positive, pure energy to either to yourself or to someone else whom you're helping. And this positive energy actually pushes out the energy of negative thoughts, emotions, the energy of illness or injury. And so it leads to overall well being, mental and emotional as well as physical. And it even sometimes spurts your spiritual growth. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful energy. And I recommend it to everyone. It's transformed my life. I feel like it's filled my life with beautiful, positive energy. This energy is universal energy. It's the energy of life, what in India we call prana. So, very simply, that's what Reiki is. And it can help you, obviously, with physical recovery from illness or even injury. It can also help with emotional issues. It helps you to release stress. It brings clarity so you can sort out your own ideas better. So, it helps at every level of being.
Yes, I can vouch for that because I was your student and I got certified and I did it for my own health, and I think it went a long way. That brings me to the second question on mindfulness. How do you define mindfulness? And when people come to you to say that, listen, I want to learn about mindfulness, what are the kind of reasons they are looking for?
So I would define mindfulness very simply in two ways. One is just training the mind to be calm and peaceful, and through that to be happy. The other part is living life with awareness and attention. So, not sleepwalking through life, making conscious choices, and focusing on your attention on whatever you're doing so that you do it to the best of your ability. People, adults usually come because they're very stressed. That is the most common reason. How do I release the stress? But if you practice regularly, you just become calmer over time, so you don't even take on new stress. They send their children quite often to help them find focus. So it's quite often related to schoolwork. And then the children also learn to manage their emotions, and they learn little techniques of breathing, for example, that help them even with schoolwork, but also with life. So sometimes children tell me, yeah, last week, I got very angry, but then I remembered breathing and then I was fine. So I said, very good. That's great. And
What
so
age
things like
group?
that.
What age group are these kids?
Uh, Now it's everywhere from all the way from 6 years to 16 years.
Meditation is a common thread which goes through all of these teachings, isn't it? Because I remember.
Yes, because I do teach meditation in my Reiki courses as well, as you know, because you've
Yeah.
done courses with me. And mindfulness is a form of meditation as well. It's just more secular than some meditations, but I teach only secular meditations. So for me, there isn't much of a difference actually between meditation and mindfulness. It's just with children, I think meditation is a big concept. So I just stick to mindfulness.
When does a person know when to visit a healer?
So because I offer a few different things, everything from counseling to Reiki, it can start with physical illness, but also with emotional problems. So I think often when people are feeling somehow overwhelmed by life, then they turn to counseling and Reiki as well. Sometimes because they've had struggled with a physical issue for a long time. It may not be a very serious, big name illness, but I had a client who just had terrible digestion. She tried everything and it didn't help. And then she said, I might as well try Reiki, and it was just wonderful for her. So, those are some of the reasons for Reiki and counseling. But when people want to learn Reiki, or if they want to do the Bhagavad Gita classes, it's usually because they are seeking something. They're seeking their own growth. They're seeking to know themselves better, to really understand themselves, understand life, find meaning in life, or help others as well with healing.
You mentioned the Bhagavad Gita. I can't stop myself from asking that, to the members of our WiP community, if you can give us one advice which comes from the Bhagavad Gita, from the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita.
I think I'll share something that I found quite profound and quite transformational for myself, which is this understanding that you really cannot be truly happy unless you're at peace with yourself. So look for peace and let go of anything that gets in the way of your peace. So this can apply to what you do, how you live life. Don't live in a way where you're, creating regrets for yourself. And it can also mean don't hold on to emotions that interfere with your peace.
Thank you. That's just amazing. So today we have learned this biggest thing, and for me, the living with inner peace is a fantastic message to end the session with today with you, Pamposh. It's been a pleasure to have you. And now, anyway, you're part of the WiP community, and we will keep interacting. And I'm sure that we're going to bring you back for a masterclass of sorts, whichever things our members want. But pleasure to host you today. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful. And again, I'm so glad to be part of this community as well. Thank you for organizing that too, Mandeep. Really
Thanks,
good to be
Pamposh.
here. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm Pamposh Dhar. I run a small company called Terataii, which is based in Singapore, but open in the online classes to people all over the world. I think the best way to describe my work is to say that I'm a holistic healer, and I try to help people through Reiki, through meditation, mindfulness, counseling, coaching, and Bhagavad Gita classes. I try to help at every level of being. So physical health, mental, emotional, and even spiritual growth. Please do get in touch with me for any further information you might want. You can get in touch by email or WhatsApp. and those details, the links will be shared with you. Thank you. I've really enjoyed interacting with this community. Thank you so much.